Hey everyone, Effie here. Today I'm back with another carton video using our Thoughtful Poppies. Today I'm going to be doing some no-line watercoloring using the large cluster image from our Thoughtful Poppy set. So I'm starting off with an A2 size card panel. I'm actually using watercolor paper since I will be painting today. So I stamped our Thoughtful Poppies with our Ballet Slippers Dye Ink. Now this is a really light pink ink and it's perfect for no line coloring or watercoloring. After I stamp the Thoughtful Poppies, I'm just going to apply some clean water to the area that I want to start coloring. And this is going to help me achieve a really nice blend as I watercolor. So I'm starting off with a kind of a coral watercolor paint, and I'm going to go over the entire poppy with this color, and then I'm going to just drop in different shades of red to get a little bit more interest. I'm going to paint the flowers on my panel first, and they're all going to be the same shade of coral and red. After I finish painting all of the florals, I'm going to move on to the greenery. But as you can see in this cluster image, the greenery is basically touching most of the florals here. So before I move on to painting the green leaves, I want to make sure that the reds, the florals are dried, because you don't want your greens to start bleeding into your reds. And that will happen if you don't wait for the red area to dry. So I'm just going to turn on some music as I paint, and I'll be back after I finish with the coloring. finished watercoloring, I'm going to heat emboss the thank you sentiment right onto the watercolor panel. The sentiment that I'm using is from our Thanks a Bunch set, and it's one of our older sentiment sets, which came out in one of our earlier releases. I'm heat embossing the sentiment in our rose gold embossing powder. So after I finish with this, I'm just going to add some stitching to the edges of our panel with the largest die in our large double stitched rectangles die set. Then I'm going to adhere the watercolor panel onto a side folding A2 size card base, and I'm using some double-sided strong adhesive to apply that panel onto my card base. I did watercolor, so I want to make sure that this does not warp and it stays flat and smooth on my card base. To finish off the card, I'm going to embellish it with some clear dewdrops in our 7 and 5 millimeter sizes, which are available in our shop. This card was inspired by my design team member Maylene's card making style. She does a lot of no-line coloring, and I wanted to try my hand at this type of watercoloring with our thoughtful poppies. So I really hope you guys enjoyed today's card and video. I had a lot of fun watercoloring this way. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.